Welcome everybody to the Lowell Kinetic Sculpture Race. You know what, this is a good day. I enjoy this race every year. I call it the triathlon of the art world. But what this does, this brings many people to the city of Lowell. They get to enjoy the city, and actually they get to see a different form of art. I mean, because it really requires some thinking to do this, to be able to put projects like this together. So think about it. You have art, you have physical exercise, you have it all. But the thing is, I think what students, you were talking about what students learn from something like this. They learn this a different way to imagine something different. It's a great way to appreciate art in a very different form.
We're from Make It Labs in Nashua, New Hampshire, and we're a community makerspace, and we made this as a group project. So a lot of us, maybe about 24 people with different disciplines, got together, and we were able to do the engineering, the manufacturing, and the artwork on this.
This year, this machine is called the Big Red Nose. This is the third year that it'll have participated in this race. We haven't made huge changes this year. We modified the floats a little bit. It's always had a problem going in and out of the water, that it gets very unstable and tippy, and we think we've remedied that by modifying the floats for the front half of the sculpture.
This is the 4th annual. This is really a family fun community race. It's all about people power, and it's a great event for Lowell, the Merrimack Valley. Beautiful day, and it's just really a good event to bring people together and have a great time.
The festival is great because it brings people from near and far to join, to see all this fantastic creativity that people come together to make it. This is great because when people come together, nothing is impossible.
Great opportunity. There are a lot of people down here. It's a little zany fun, as you can see as you start looking around, but it brings education down to the downtown. It brings this environment is just on fire. People are going to be having a great time today. We're pretty excited. We're going to be starting in a few minutes, but talk about the education of some of these young adults here today, the economic development, and honestly, science mixing with the city of Lowell is an absolute pleasure to be here today. Looking forward to it.
I will always maintain a fun frenzy of funk. Yow! I promise to uphold the kinetic spirit. And when faced with potentially perilous problems, I will remember the one rule to rule them all. I will have fun for the glory. 2019 Kinetic, put your hands together for everybody, and you crazy people, get to your gears, get going.
Mud, mud, glorious mud. Nothing quite like it for cooling the blood.
The mud was brutal. We did not expect it to be so thick and mucky. I mean, the first year it was a mound, but it was not as moist, you know, so it was just an uphill climb. This was deep. It was almost halfway up my rear wheel.
Last year we didn't do as great on the mud, but this year we have fat tire bikes, so we might be able to get to the mud, but I can't make any promises.
The steering is abominable. The flotation was questionable. The mud was real thick and soupy. But I just kept looking at the next couple of feet and thinking, all right, we got this. This will be fine. I put earplugs in for a while so I could just be in my own head and not listen to anything else and meditate and concentrate on riding, and it was great. It's really important to me to continue to inspire the next generation doing this. I teach bicycle building workshops to kids and teens. I'm going to help out with an adaptive mountain biking race in the next couple of weeks. I want to get more butts on bikes.
One is we geared very low to get through the mud, so we were very slow. The other problem is we had our one of the chains fall off, so we had to fix that twice on the way. But we made it. We were going pretty good in the mud, and then we had a catastrophic failure on one of our drive systems.
Every year. It's awesome. So glad. I'm so glad we have this.
We just got 2 pilots. All this orange on the front of the machine is new. And we just have 2 pilots. And this little lever here gives us front wheel drive in the mud and coming out of the river. So it's all wheel drive.
I was on the engineering crew, and I am 13 years old. So we started with the same basic idea that we had last year. So we started with the wood that connected the kayaks on either side, and then we did the wood on the back and did the same. Ratchet straps held on the kayaks. This year we decided to put in this piece of wood in the front just to synchronize the steering.
Wow, speechless. Yes, that's where I'm at right now. I'm really concerned.
This today. And we have entry.
That's a veteran immersion right there.
That is veteran.
It's been so hot today, so it got nice and cool and refreshing. I really love it. I really love how chaotic it is, for one, and just how everybody's so happy and positive. And yeah, no, I would love to do this again.
tickets to the race.
After facing the mud, the water feature, the sand was easy peasy. I did not expect it to be so easy.
We had a very tough mud pit this year, which actually knocked out a bunch of ace possibilities, people who wanted to really kind of make it through without getting any help out of the mud pit. So we only had 2 teams that were able to do that, and they were veterans of the kinetic race, so they really knew what they were doing. They also went into the water, and we had one team that had a tough time making it through the water, or a couple teams, but really it was, they did a wonderful job. And I have to say, like, the amount of kids and families that were here this year was over the top than we've seen before. So I'm glad to see that, you know, it's really like what the Glorious founder said. We're here to kind of show kids that it's fun to be an adult. And if we can show kids that doing STEAM, science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics all together is a fun thing to do, then we can get them engaged and wanting to kind of do more of this and have fun making things. So that's really, you know, I'm humbled by the outpouring of all the people that came out to see the race today.
Everyone, I want to take this 1 minute to thank you for coming to the 4th annual Lowell Kinetic Sculpture Race. And it's not just today. The people on these teams, their pit crews, their supporters, they spend months, except Midnight Machine, which we had a few years ago, but usually they spend months planning, building, testing, and today it showed. We had the best quality race that we have ever had. It was the fastest. It was the most technically sound. We had the least epic breakdowns. So thank you to all of our teams for really upping the bar this year. Find out who won these fantastic awards made by local artists and builders and engineers. These awards are all handmade. Thank you to everyone who made an award.
Best costume. We had an amazing team from the Lawrence program. The Pirates of the Merrimack Valley won Best Costume. Next, we have Best Bribes, and that is going to Fruit Roll-Up. For the Best Art Award, that is going to the Rogers School, the Reef Racer. The Golden Flipper Award goes to the most epic splash or entrance into the water, a water experience. Did anybody see what happened today? Lobster Roll, you won that award. Best Pit Crew is going to Love You 3000, the Boys and Girls Club. The Twisted Sprocket Award, which goes to the most epic mud experience. I'm guessing everybody knows who this is going to? Yes, it's going to Cinnamon Rolls. All agreed with me that this team showed up at the mud pit first, they showed up at the water pit, the water feature first, and they were pretty much in first all the way through. So this is going to Moonwalkers. So made using parts from the kinetic sculpture Oh Snap, which won the 2018 Engineering Award with great admiration and respect for the Lowell Kinetic Sculpture Race course, as well as the race directors, volunteers, and pilots, for the glory. Okay? Pretty awesome. So this is from his sculpture. Every year he remakes his sculpture. He tears it apart and then builds a whole new one. And the engineering award is going to Psychedelics. So the Golden Dinosaur Award is awarded to the team that has the most epic breakdown. This year it was created out of 100 different dinosaurs that were all glued together and then painted gold. So this big dinosaur is a whole bunch of other dinosaurs, which really is a kind of a symbol of what a team makes for kinetic sculpture. It takes a whole family to be able to do it. This is going to Area 51 Escapees, the Lawrence Youth Development Organization. The Marshall's Award is going to Pirates of the Merrimack Valley. This Choice Award, it was pretty much unanimous, and they seem to kill it. So this is going to the Reef Racer.
My favorite moment in this racer's race was after they spent 20 minutes tackling the mud pit. They came out the other side, and I asked, "Are you okay?" And they looked me in the eye and said, "This is why you don't skip leg day."
Hey, Street Queen! Hey, Street Queen! Hey, Street Queen! I wanted an award that we could to give to somebody that has shown kinetic spirit through the 4 years that we've had here since we started from the very beginning. Somebody that's really kind of put every effort, is just really just a good person or a good team. So this award was created by Robert Vanderwall. And I want to say that this award is for somebody who has really kind of held the kinetic spirit all these years, has really been super supportive, makes awards every year, and really just always puts their best into the race all the time, show up on time, all that kind of stuff. So this award is going to Jay Hungate. Okay, maybe I'll put it. We had 6 or 7 different teams that were trying to vie for ACE, and only 2 of them survived. Psychedelics, you aced this race. Big Red Nose, you guys also aced. So this year's award, Ace Champion Award, is going to Big Red Nose.
We just want to thank you all again so much for your continued support, your continued grit, your continued effort. This could not happen without each and every one of you. And lastly, if you have not built a team yet, or you have built a team and are inspired and maybe want to do more, please, this year, the Lowell Cultural Council grants, which are available to every individual organization. You don't have to be a nonprofit. The grant cycle is open right now until October 15th, and you can get up to $4,000. All you have to do is apply. So please go to the Lowell Cultural Council website and apply for a grant, and we want to see twice as many teams next year. Lastly, you do not have to be a Lowell resident to apply for this grant. The event is in Lowell. That qualifies you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Warp and Weft. Have a wonderful night.
Well, the funding is important for an event like that. And, you know, I've been a strong proponent of having festivals in the city. I think there should be one every month. I think it's good for attracting people who don't live in Lowell to come into the city for the day and see what it's like. But it also gives people that live in Lowell a chance to get together and socialize while they're having fun on the weekends. And we've gotten to a point now where we have probably about a dozen festivals over the course of the year. Some of them are ethnic festivals, but there's quite a few of them. But my very favorite out of all of them for the whole year has been and continues to be the Kinetic Sculpture Race.
This was the best kinetic sculpture race we have had yet. And I know that I say that every year. And I know that I'm starting to sound like a broken record. But I just am blown away by how every volunteer, every team, they try so hard and they put everything into this. And this year, I feel like everyone gave 200% of themselves. It was incredible. Thank you to everyone who made LKSR 2019 possible, and we are pumped to bring you LKSR 2020 because it can only get better from here.